This land was declared useless. Today it feeds people in one of the hottest deserts in America. Tucson, Arizona sits inside one of the most unforgiving climates in North America, where the sun is less a resource and more a threat. For decades, a 6-acre plot in southwest Tucson sat abandoned. Hard soil, windblown trash, and relentless heat. What changed wasn't luck or rainfall, it was a complete redesign of how soil and water work in the desert. Scientists and locals have engineered a system that captures moisture from dry air and turns sterile dust into a biodiversity hotspot. This is not just a garden, it is a rebellion against the climate itself. Using a mix of indigenous water design and modern agroecology, the community turned sterile ground into productive farmland. The scorching reality of the Sonoran Dust Bowl. To understand why this matters, you need to understand how hostile this environment really is. We often romanticize the desert as a place of stark beauty, but the reality for the residents of Cottonwood Lane is far more hostile. This region averages just 11 inches of rain a year, and some years, barely 5. The summer temperatures here do not just rise, they punish. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 107 degrees Fahrenheit. This kind of heat doesn't stress soil, it destroys it. Imagine living here without reliable access to fresh food. These residents are living in a classified food desert where the nearest grocery store is a mirage, and the only accessible calories come from processed convenience store shelves. The land around them was desiccated, compacted, and prone to the kind of wind erosion that fueled the Dust Bowl. It was a landscape that had forgotten how to yield. Most observers looked at this sandy gravel and saw nothing but a parking lot for dust devils. But the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona saw something else entirely. They saw the potential for a biological resurrection. Engineering soil from the grave of a river. The breakthrough didn't start with water, it started with cardboard. To fight the sterile nature of the sandy gravel, the farmers employed the lasagna method of soil regeneration. Instead of tilling the soil, they layered it, cardboard, organic waste and straw. To rebuild life from the ground up, this is agroecological alchemy at its finest. Instead of tilling the soil, they layered it, cardboard, organic waste and straw, to rebuild life from the ground up. This foundation suppresses invasive weeds and creates a dark, moist habitat, inviting the return of fungal mycelium and earthworms to a place that had been hostile to them for decades. On top of this cardboard skin, they stacked alternating layers of carbon-rich straw and nitrogen-heavy vegetable scraps. Over time, the intense microbial activity generated heat, breaking these layers down into rich, dark humus capable of holding water like a sponge. In a region where every drop evaporates in minutes, this organic matter is critical. Even a 1% increase in organic matter can help soil retain up to 20,000 extra gallons of water per acre. They literally built the earth from scratch, turning the desert's weakness into a biological battery. Here's where they did the opposite of modern agriculture. While conventional agriculture builds raised beds to drain water and warm the soil, that approach here would bake the roots alive. Instead of raised beds, they dug the fields downward. They utilised sunken beds, a technique deeply rooted in the ancient Zuni waffle garden tradition. By excavating the growing area 6 to 12 inches below the surface, they created a grid of micro-reservoirs that pool water instead of letting it run off across the baking hardpan. This is crucial physics. When irrigation or rain hits the basin, it doesn't evaporate instantly. It lingers, percolating slowly and deeply into the root zone. But the benefits are not just hydrological. The earthen walls of these sunken beds act as a fortress, protecting young seedlings from the scouring desert winds that can desiccate a plant in hours. Sunken beds trap water, block wind, and keep roots cooler than the air above. It is a system designed to hide from the sun while drinking the rain, harvesting ghosts of the monsoon in dry lands. Water is the currency of life in the Sonoran, and Las Milpitas has become a bank vault. The entire infrastructure of the farm is designed to catch the violent, fleeting abundance of the summer monsoons. The tin roofs of the shade structures, essential for human survival, are fitted with intricate gutter systems that channel every drop of precipitation into massive cisterns. These tanks hold thousands of gallons, storing the ghost of the storm to feed the crops during the dry foresummer when the sky refuses to open. But the engineering goes deeper than steel tanks. The land itself has been sculpted into a passive harvesting machine, a landscape designed to drink. Working alongside the Pima County Regional Flood Control District, the farmers have terraformed the topography using an ancient system of berms and swales. These aren't just ditches, they represent a fundamental shift in physics. By carving shallow contours and raising earthen mounds, they interrupt the destructive flow of urban runoff. The water is forced to follow a new command: slow it, spread it, sink it. Instead of allowing precious rainfall to escape into concrete storm drains, carrying toxins and trash away to be wasted, the farm forces the water to pause and percolate deep into the aquifer. It is a functional restoration of the watershed, a deliberate act of recharging the deep reserves that the city has been draining for a century. They are not just growing food down here, they are healing the broken hydrological cycle of the entire city, the hidden kingdom of the native bees. As the soil turned dark and the water sank deep, something ancient began to wake up. This 6-acre plot is now verified as having the highest bee diversity in the entire state of Arizona. In a land that was once a dust bowl, the ecosystem has exploded with a density of life that rivals the deserts of Israel. We are not talking about the imported European honeybee. These are the native, solitary, ground-nesting bees, the silent workers of the desert. The messy, organic nature of the farm provides the open patches of bare soil these creatures need to nest. A habitat destroyed by manicured suburban lawns. The farm has become a sanctuary for the Tucson Bee Collaborative, where citizen scientists conduct DNA barcoding to understand this sudden explosion of life. By planting native superbloomers like globe mallow and desert marigold, the farm ensures a continuous nectar flow. It is a symbiotic loop. The bees sustain the crops, and the crops sustain the bees. The result is a level of pollination that makes chemical fertilizers obsolete. A triple bottom line that money can't buy. The impact of this green transformation transcends agriculture. It has become a lifeline for the mental health of a community that has been marginalized by poverty and isolation. Research from the University of Arizona has quantified the value of this safe green space. Gardening here does not just produce calories, it produces serotonin. The contact with soil bacteria and the communal labour have been proven to decrease the severity of depression and anxiety among the residents. This is the triple bottom line in action, a radical economic model proving that urban agriculture is essential public health infrastructure. According to a 40-year projection, this small patch of desert generates a net present value of nearly $1 million. But you won't find this wealth in a bank account. It exists in over $500,000 of avoided healthcare cost and the reclaimed lives of the neighbours. The heritage crops grown here don't go to high-end markets. They fuel the Caridad community kitchen. Here, the produce acts as the raw material for a rigorous culinary training program for the unemployed, the formerly incarcerated, and those struggling to find a foothold. Once prepared, these nutrient-dense meals are distributed to the homeless and homebound seniors across the city. It is a perfect closed loop of resilience, from the regenerative soil to the hands of those seeking a second chance, to the plates of the most vulnerable. Las Milpitas de Cottonwood is more than a farm. It is a blueprint for the future of survival in a warming world. By combining indigenous wisdom with modern agroecology, this community has proven that we can reverse desertification. They have turned a place of scarcity into a generator of abundance, proving that even with 11 inches of rain and crushing heat, life finds a way if we stop fighting the environment and start engineering with it. The desert is not dead. It was just waiting for us to listen.